Hey viewers, this is Peppy for Brawl, and for this video we're taking a look at my custom made Future Dag figure. Now, here he is. Alright, so first, obviously I can't show you the packaging since he's custom made, but I can show you, firstly, the concept art. Now he is my own original created character, so it's not surprising if you haven't seen him anywhere else. However, I did make a statue of this character, which I have posted up before, so if you want to go and see that, you're welcome to. But first, here is the concept art of the character. As you can see, it says here Future Dag, and that's the concept art. And then before creating the character, I first drew out a rough sketch of his size and also where the joints are going to go. So here, just a quick sketch of him, what he would initially look like and where the joints will be. And then after that, I just traced over and then really showing where the joints are going to be. So here you have the neck joints, shoulder joints, and so on. And then another trace over of the initial skeleton when first sculpting him. So that's all the sketch work. Let's get to the figure. Here he is. Now first, I just want to say that for this video, I'll mainly just be taking a look at the figure, showing you what he's like, and also showing you his articulation. So I won't go through the process of how I made him, but I will be posting a Making of Future Dag figure soon. So if you're curious about how I made him, then please go and check that out. So firstly, he stands. Let's get a ruler. He stands about, let's see, about 8 inches tall to the very top of this part here. Okay, so first we have a look at the sculpt. Now for me personally, I am quite happy, I'm quite proud of the head sculpt. I feel that I did capture how he looks quite a lot. But of course, I'll leave that to you to decide. And down to his rest of his body, his arms, and down to his belt, and also his suspenders, down to his trousers, and then the rest of his legs. So that's the initial sculpt. Oh, and also the glasses are a wire, made out of wire as well. Okay, so that's the sculpt and detail as well. Okay, so for articulation, his head is on a ball joint connected by a peg. So you can look left and right, also up and down. I'm going to have to be very delicate with the joints since he is quite fragile, and I don't want to cause any paint rub either, so I'm going to have to be very careful with the joints. But like I said before, he can look left to right, up and down, so quite good range of motion. It was quite hard getting him to have quite a bit of range of motion on his head due to the sculpt of his jaw. So with the sculpt, with the part how I sculpted it that way, it does hinder slight articulation. But I think it worked out alright in the end. So quite good range of motion. For his arms, they're on a ball joint, so they can go back and forth. Slightly hindered due to the ripped parts of his jacket, so it does hinder a bit there. I was originally going to use a softer material so that these are flexible, but I didn't really have the right material to do that, and also it might make sculpting quite complicated, so I kept it as the same material sculpted for everything else. So these are solid parts, so it does hinder the articulation a bit. And they can also be pulled extended outwards. And also a bicep swivel, like so. With the arm extended outwards, he does get a bit more range of motion. He has a single jointed elbow joint, like so. And I sculpted it in a way so that it allows him more range of motion. And I also sculpted the back part so that when posed straight it looks more natural for the elbow. And for his hands he has a ball peg as well for the wrists, so they can hinge and swivel as well at both sides. And that's the same for this arm as well. So ball peg, ball joint and bicep swivel, double jointed elbows and wrist joint. I didn't give him an adamant joint since I felt that would really complicate the sculpt up here, so I decided to leave that out, but I did give him a waist joint, so he just has the single swivel for the waist. For his legs, they're on T-jointed ball pegs, ball joints as well, so his legs can go back and forth. Now these suspender parts, I did make them out of a softer material, so they are bendable. So this bit is slightly bendable and also on the back as well, so that these parts don't hinder his leg articulation. But in the end it still does kind of hinder it since the material is quite thick. But I can still bring his leg out about that far and not really that much back, but it can go out to the side. And there's also a thigh swivel. Just put his leg back. Okay. There's a thigh swivel as well. Double jointed knee joints, but it does cause quite a lot of paint rub though, so bit of a problem. But he does have the double jointed knee joints. And I sculpted this knee part as well onto the joint itself so that it looks more natural, and it looks more natural when it's bent, and also when it just looks more natural in general as well. And for his feet, also a ball joint, so he can swivel, has the hinge. And I also sculpted the peg that slots at an angle so that it gives him an ankle rocker. But it does cause quite a bit of paint rub as well. Okay, that's the articulation of the figure. So with all the sculpting areas and stuff that I kept in mind when sculpting, I'm quite happy with how he turned out. So he does have quite good range of motion, but I just got to be very careful when posing him to avoid paint rub. And just got to be careful with him in general since he's a custom figure. So I forgot to mention that his eye underneath is red while the other is white. That's just part of his story, of his character. Now for the chin, I did try to do like a kind of stubble look to his face, but I'm not really too sure how well that turned out since it's my first time doing something like that. I think in the end it looked alright, and also some facial hair as well, which runs down his body, and also on his arms, sorry. Run down to his arms and also down to his legs. So it was quite hard painting all that detail on as well. Well, the whole figure was generally quite hard and frustrating, but I am quite happy with how he turned out in the end. Okay, so for accessories, he comes with a smoking pipe. And this hole here is for so that I can plug it into a Tamashii stand. Yep, so that's the detail in there. He also comes with his bent walking stick. Let's get it in focus. Yep. So his walking stick here, which is bent here, so slightly damaged, worn out stick. And he can hold this one just fine since I sculpted the hand to fit around, like so. Quickly back to the pipe, I sculpted his hand to make it look like he's holding a pipe and also for general posing as well, but I knew that with this hand there wasn't really any way that he could hold it like sturdily, so that's why, where's it gone? So that's why I added the peg so that I can use with a Tamashii stand, which I'll show in a bit. And he also comes with his sword. Yep. Not sure if you can see the detail on the blade, but it does have a slight tint of ice blue on the blade for extra detail. And I sculpted it so that this bit can be pulled apart so that he can hold the sword. So this part just slots into his hand. And then just plug this bit back in. So I'm quite happy how that little feature turned out. It works. So I quite like that. You take the blade back out. Okay. And he also comes, well, I gave him a Tamashii Stage Act 4. So I did not make this, it's actually something that you can buy, but since I had a feeling he wouldn't be able to stand quite that well on his own, I decided to give him a stand. So for this, I sculpted his back here with a peg hole. Just get in focus. Yep. And it just plugs into here. So this allows him to stand. Just come down here to see him standing. And what this is for is, like I said before, it's for the support for the pipe. So that just slots into there. And then it can just be adjusted to fit to where his mouth is. Like so. Now I can just bend his arm. I have to be very careful. And oh, I'm sure you get the idea. So I can just put the pipe on, put it against his mouth, and it looks like he's holding it. So yep, that's what the stage out is for, to help him stand and also support his pipe. So yeah, so that was the review of my custom figure of Future Dag. He was pretty hard to make and very frustrating at times, but at the same time I did have quite a lot of fun making him, and I'm quite happy with the end result as well. So yeah, that was the view of the Future Dag figure. If you're curious on how I made him, please check out the Making of Future Dag figure, which I'll post a link down below. And if you have any more questions, please feel free to ask them down in the comments below. And I hope you've enjoyed this review, and thank you very much for watching. Till next time.